This is a super sick opening. Never thought I'd be able to open an entire display of these decks. What's going on, YouTube? This is the Uber Trading coming at you today with a brand new video. In today's video, I'm super excited to be opening up one of the rarest sealed items I've ever had in my possession. This is a sealed display of starter deck Kaiba and starter deck Yugi, one of the most rare items I've ever seen. Inside contains 5 starter decks of unlimited starter deck Yugi and 5 decks of Kaiba. Want to give a massive shout out to NonX0 here on Instagram, a really good friend of mine that I met on Whatnot. He sent us this to actually open up for him. I believe the decks are actually sold out, but I did pick up 2 decks. So in today's video, I'm going to rip open this display, show you what's on the inside. Additionally, for this video, I want to give something away that's a little bit cool, given that we're ripping open these decks. So I'm giving away a sealed starter deck Kaiba Reloaded. All you have to do to win this is leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. What is your favorite deck? Starter deck Yugi or starter deck Kaiba? Let's get going. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I just want to take a look at this display. I've never actually seen one or held one in my hand, so it's really cool to see this. These decks are super old. I want to say they came out in 2002 here in the US. This is an unlimited run of the decks, and you know that by the fact that the front doesn't have a first edition symbol up here, or maybe it was down here on it. Now, these displays are obviously very rare, very expensive. This one was in a little bit beat up shape, so I think he got a somewhat decent price for it. But like I said, in today's video, we're going to rip this open. We're going to take a look at the decks, and we are going to rip a couple of them open, which is a little nerve-wracking. They're definitely quite expensive, but yeah, we're going to get ripping. All right, guys, moment of truth. I'm going to take my beautiful little knife here. We're going to take it to this display. Very excited to be opening this. Never thought I'd be able to do something like this. So thank you guys all for the support on the channel. Let's go. Oh, that's so painful. Ripping open the display for the first time. Oh my goodness. All right. Starter deck Yugi and starter deck Kaiba. Hopefully the decks are in super good condition. You never really know when everything's all sealed up. All right, so we're going to open up the flap here, and there we have it. Starter deck Yugi and starter deck Kaiba in all of their glory. How beautiful is that? Now, right away, I can tell that some of the ones in the back are probably in a little bit worse condition, but for those of you that have not seen these decks, I would say almost all of you have probably seen these decks, right? You went to the store as a kid, you bought a starter deck Kaiba, you bought a starter deck Yugi, and you opened it over there at home. Really cool to have these. Doesn't look like the cards are like wavy or anything on the inside or faded or anything, but still super cool. We're going to rip one of these open, and we're going to take a look. So I am going to grab these 2 that are here in the back, because I can see like this part's a little bit beat up. That way the people who bought the other ones don't have a bad time. All right, guys, but this is what it is. You got starter deck Kaiba. Inside is a sealed deck, and obviously you have the blue eyes. You have a couple hollows up there, and then Yugi as well has that Dark Magician up there on the front, and then a couple cards behind it that we'll go through also. And additionally, if you guys don't know, one thing I always like to look out for is the code. If you look at the bottom, there's a barcode on these decks that give you an indication of what could be inside. So any of the ones that end in 437 are going to just be like a traditional, like the traditional cards. If you ever see a deck that ends in 434, there is a chance that the cards inside could be wavy, which obviously carry a bit of a premium. I think you can also tell that on the actual display by looking at the barcode that's at the bottom. I think the only difference is that the numbers are like 1 digit off. But yeah, super excited to have these decks. I'm gonna move the entire display a bit out of the way so we can actually rip into these. So 1 second. All right, guys, I have my starter deck Yugi, my starter deck Kaiba. We're gonna go ahead and open up Yugi first, just because Kaiba is definitely my favorite. So I'm hoping we can take a look at that blue eyes. Gonna take my knife here, and we're just gonna open this bad boy up. Take a look at the deck on the inside. Oh wow, look at that Dark Magician. So you can immediately tell that this Dark Magician has insane hollow bleed. That's actually crazy. So that is immediately super cool. So that, I don't know if you'd really consider that like a crazy misprint, but you can definitely see a lot of hollow bleed on that Dark Magician. So we're gonna open up the deck, hopefully not damage it too much. These decks are notoriously very hard to open without messing up the cards. So all right, I actually got that one somewhat decently. Obviously want to take extra care not to hurt that Dark Magician card. All right, we got the deck out. Oh, and unfortunately you can see here, the Dark Magician does have a little corner ding up at the very top left, but that's insane. Deck Fresh has that crazy hollow bleed on it. But other than that little ding, which I think we can probably try to fix, that card looks to be in pretty good condition. And then for the rest of the deck, we've got our Soul Exchange, we got our Card Destruction, then we got our big brick of commons. Again, I'm sure a lot of you guys have these in your lunchbox from when you were a kid. Pull these out, whip them out at the playground, duel your friends, throw summon skull down with no tributes. One of the coolest parts about collecting Yu-Gi-Oh was just whipping out your starter deck and going head to head against your friends with little to no actual understanding of what we were doing. So super cool to see that. Definitely a little disappointed that the Dark Magician has that bad corner, but I think we should hopefully be able to fix that. But for now, we'll put him in a sleeve, get him in a top loader, and we'll put him off to the side. So you also have your rule book here, has a bunch of information about how to actually play the game, how the cards work, things like that, which is really neat. And then one of these, which I'm sure again everyone has in some tote or in some plastic storage bin in their mom's basement. We've got this beautiful mat, which is awesome. Monster zones, magic and trap card zones. All right, guys, now it is on to the Kaiba deck. We're hoping that Kaiba does not have the same damage to the corners as Yugi did, but these decks, you know, they've been sitting here for over 20 years, right? So you never know what can happen. Sometimes things get messed up while they're sitting around or shuffling around and shipping, and it's always hard to really predict what's going to happen. But hopefully the Kaiba is in a little bit better condition on the actual Blue Eyes, but all we can do is rip into it and see what we find. All right, so we got our Blue Eyes White Dragon. Such a beautiful and iconic card. One of the most iconic artworks, I would say, in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! So we're gonna rip this deck open. Let's see if we can do so without damaging this beautiful, beautiful Blue Eyes. That lets us peel it open. Like I said, I want to be very careful with these as to not damage the card. Fortunately, the Dark Magician appeared to have had damage on it regardless, so we were kind of doomed on that. All right, so flipping it over here, let us take a look at this beautiful Blue Eyes White Dragon. All right, Blue Eyes is in great condition on the front. Definitely a little bit off center top to bottom, which is okay. And then there's the back, looking to be in pretty good shape. A little bit of guffing, which is normal, again, sitting in these decks for so long, but very beautiful condition. Look how nostalgic that card is. Such a beautiful card. Very, very happy to own that in pack fresh, quote unquote, condition. And then for the rest of the deck, we've got our Lord of D, of course, the Flute of the Summoning Dragon. Those are our other two hollows. And then Kaiba's legendary deck, two-pronged attack, invigoration. We've got our Hojikaki, ultimate offering, all the classics that we know and love from being a kid. Terror the Terrible Urabi, Sogen, Legend, Just Desserts, D-Human, Uzaki, Hain, look at that guy. Some of those classic LOB cards, right? Dark Energy, and of course, his boy, Hitatsumi Giant. And very similar to the Yugi, we've got our zones, and we actually have, I think, the same rulebook. So we got our trading card official rulebook hanging out here, and yeah, that is basically it. So you got your starter deck Kaiba, your starter deck Yugi in the flesh. Open both of them. Really appreciate you guys. This is a super sick opening. Never thought I'd be able to open an entire display of these decks. I am going to pop his Instagram up here at the top of the screen. If you want to reach out to him, I'm not 100% sure, but I think the remaining decks are sold out, but you can always reach out, shoot him a follow on Instagram either way. And as always, if you like seeing content like this, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and let me know down below which one of these cards is your favorite, the Dark Magician or the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Appreciate you guys. Hope you have an awesome day, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.